Welcome back. So I know I said I was going to do an updated review on these watches in the months to come, and I still will. However, there was a couple of things I missed out in my previous video which I'd like to touch upon, as well as giving a brief insight as to why I think these are exceptional value for money. So, without further ado, the watch which I am going to choose to compare, which is no comparison at all because they're completely different, but we can get some insight as to what makes a watch worth its value or not, is the Vostok, as you can see in this box here. And if you don't know who Vostoks are, they are the Russia's answer to G-Shock. They are fantastic watches. They're incredibly robust, but they are cheap. They're not, perfect in every sort of place. If you look very closely, there's elements which aren't finished to, the top end of watchmaking by any stretch of the imagination, but they are robust. They are very nicely made, and they are also very exceptional value for money. You're going to struggle to find a much better dive watch, at this price range. In fact, I'd be very surprised if you can find any other watches which stack up to this. They have a acrylic glass, which does get scratches, but it's easy to polish out. The crown on these, which are wobbly and very strange, they do have purpose. The reason for them being so wobbly is so that the army officers in their thick gloves during the winter can undo this. They can set the time or wind up the watch, give it some extra power. Even though it's automatic, it can be wound without breaking the stem. So that's the whole point of it. They can keep their gloves on and do whatever they need to and then screw it back in. These are chrome plated brass, as is the friction bezel. So these are obviously two cost cutting or cost saving measures, but overall it's a fabulous watch. The thing which isn't so great about these are the bracelets they come in, or come with rather. And the bracelet on this it doesn't look that bad. It's not bad at all. It's still in the plastic. There's a good reason for that. I've owned many of these watches, and generally what you do is you take the bracelet off, you throw it in the bin, and you buy a nice strap like this. Which is a shame really, because these are, don't get me wrong, you can wear them on these. They are, they're not uncomfortable. They're pretty chintzy. They're really cheap feeling, and they will last you because the steel is strong. They're robust. They're tough watches, but the strap is horrible. And the reason why I'm comparing these and showing you these is because the strap on the Bentley is also made of rolled steel or rolled links. And if we put these on top of each other, in fact, so you can just see, look at the thickness difference. The reason why I'm showing you these difference in thickness is because this Vostok strap is almost twice as thick, but the weight of both of these two are almost identical. The Bentley strap is almost the same weight as this chintzy piece of rubbish. And the reason why I'm telling you this is simply because it's showing you that this is a good quality. Obviously not a solid stainless steel and the best quality you're going to find, but it is very comfortable. It's very well made. The links are very nice. It has a sort of slight bevel edge, which is very nice. And I haven't any complaints. It hasn't pulled out any hairs yet. It's possible that it may do as these links get slightly stretched, but and I am growing my own jumper for the winter right now. I'm not a gorilla yet, but getting there. I'm surprised I haven't had any problems with it. So that is very good. And also, it looks fabulous. It's in keeping for the era with this style of watch, with that 70s look. It's really lovely. So the strap on those, definitely for an £80, $100 watch, I think that's pretty exceptional. I had no problems with that whatsoever. The watches do, some of them, as we'll see on the website later, I'll flick through, we'll have a quick look. Some of the watches come on the metal, some of them have the choice of rubber or metal. The ones which have the choice, go with the metal and buy one of these separately. The rubber straps are £9 or $11, which is pretty cheap, really, and they are incredibly soft. They feel so comfortable with the shape of the case back on these, along with these straps, you genuinely do not realise sometimes it's even on your wrist, as I have noticed. And I've been exchanging, I've only obviously had the watch for 6 days, both watches. I've worn this one predominantly every day since. I will wear this one as of next week for in alternate measures. And what I found is that obviously with the quick release it's very helpful, it's quite nice. I've been wearing this in sort of indoors or when it's warmer, and when I've gone for a walk I've put this on, and in fact, like I said, you just don't notice it on the wrist. It's so well designed and very comfortable. But these are incredibly, I mean, the magnets are so strong on these, they're not going to go anywhere. But it's just very nice having that option. And you can obviously use any other strap. You could put something like this on if you wanted to. I mean, it's a 22mm, which is very nice as well. It's good size. And it's, like I said, these are really, really well made. The case, in fact, the finishing and everything is far superior than many watches in the same price bracket. It's better finished than the Vostok. There's, I mean, you generally would notice, I mean, if it was bad, those are the things which would stand up, the things which aren't good on it. Everything's perfect. There's nothing really I could complain about. As I've noted before, the shape, in fact, the way it sort of curves around here, it's got a nice sort of edge. Don't feel any of that. And this back, case back, has a nice curve to it. It just sits beautifully on the wrist. And I know it's a cost-saving measure, but at the same time, it's also a weight-saving measure, is the use of the zinc alloy, sorry, not the camera there, is the zinc alloy. And if it were stainless steel, the case back's stainless steel, but if this were stainless steel, it would be far too heavy. You'd need a bigger strap, or this really tight on the strap. And the bracelet wouldn't be any sufficient because it's too thin and it wouldn't be able to counterbalance the weight. So there's nothing wrong with that, personally, especially at this price range. And also, if you did rather have a tougher metal, they do a titanium one for around £217, like approximately $250 ish. And something else I didn't mention as well, actually, these include not just free shipping at the moment, taxes are paid for as well. So that's really excellent. And you get a 30-day breathing period where you can return the watch if you're not happy with it, and you have a year's warranty with these as well, which is pretty amazing. So whilst we're at it, let's have a look. So I set these watches, or I set the watch in this box within 3 minutes of my atomic clock from on my GWG 1000. So this is going to backfire, I reckon. Let's see what happens. But the other day, it was still within 3 seconds from the time of here. So before we have a look at this, I'll just quickly show you. You may have seen in the other video, well, I'm sure you did if you did see the other video, it's just the way this is all packaged. Okay, yes, the Vostok comes in a plastic box. It's durable, it does its job. Packaging isn't the main importance here. The watch is more important than the packaging, but it's still lovely when you get something like this arrive in the post. I mean, for a cheap watch, I mean, that looks quality to me. And then the box, obviously we're not talking, Patek Philippe or Omega, but this is cardboard, but it's just such nice presentation. This slides off, obviously. Inside here, if this will open for us, we get all of the bits we need. I mean, it's nicely presented. We've got the manual, which let's just get that out of here, which is so straightforward. It's easier than the Casio manuals. In fact, it's just very user-friendly. Hadn't any qualms with that whatsoever. You get a couple of extra spring bars, the quick release spring bars. You obviously get the straps, or the bracelet in this instance. And these obviously were wrapped in plastic. They weren't sliding around on top of each other. They were wrapped in that plastic, which drives you absolutely mad, and you end up pulling out more hair than you do plastic. And then finally, this is where it's all going to backfire on me now, because I've just said that this is, I set this within 3 seconds of the atomic clock 6 days ago. So I'm just showing you the watch here. It's just really nicely put together. It's not a quartz movement, it's electronic. And let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see. Oh, hello. Hold on. Yeah, we are still within approximately 3 seconds difference. Look at that. Now, I mean, that alone, that's worth, its weight in gold. Having accurate time like that. I mean, the Vostok, though a fabulous watch, here we go, that's going to lose, sort of approximately 10 to 20 seconds plus or minus a day. You can get them a lot more accurate than that, but it's never going to be as accurate as that. Okay, so very quickly, I'll just run through what the options or the different modes are before we swing the camera around and take a look at the website. So the first thing obviously is the time, followed by, if I remember rightly, no, my brain is, this is going to be the date, of course, so we've got the time, the date, followed by your temperature, stopwatch, timer, alarm, a secondary time, and then back to the beginning. And it stays on for 5 seconds and it goes off. You do have a tilt on there as well. So if you're obviously out at night, it only stays on for 12 hours, the tilt. And then after the 12 hours, it stops. So at night time, it's perfect because obviously in the morning, after you've used it in the evening, you don't want to run down the batteries on because it's OLED, even though it will last for I'm just trying to think, 2 to 4 years the battery life on these, not 2 to 6 months as you get on LED watches. So yeah, these are really excellent. It's very nicely made. The buttons are tough and plastic. They're not going to set the world alight, but they're rigid. They're going to do everything they need to do. I haven't got any problems with it. And also, yes, one other thing, there has been water tested. I have tested its water resistancy. That wasn't by choice. That just happened to be the fact that I knocked over a hot cup of tea. Oh, my heart went over this. The second day, it was hit. This within 24 hours. So it's still working perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So yeah, they are definitely at least 30 meters water resistant as stated. Anyway, let's turn around the camera. Let's have a quick look at the other watches Bentley Design has to offer. Right, so let's take a look at the Bentley Design website. We're just going to have a very quick run through. I'm going to leave the links in the description below so you can have a proper look yourselves. But there's some really interesting watches in my view. I mean, obviously, as I said before, and as Bentley stated himself when we spoke, these aren't for everybody. But, there's some very cool things. I think most of you will, well, a good few of you will find things that you quite like on this website. So, these look pretty cool to me. This is a new one, the Gladiator. That's a very interesting design. I do like that. Yep, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll move on. These are really interesting. They've got a microchip showing here as well, and they obviously Cyber watch, and obviously very influenced by the Cybertruck. We have this one here. We'll come back to this one in a minute because this is actually a homage to a watch from the early noughties. I wonder if any of you can guess what that is in the comments section below. I'll give you a few seconds whilst we go through these other watches. I do like that. That looks very cool indeed. Then we have, in fact, there's a titanium version of one of them's called the Dark Knight, which is and the Stargazer. That's pretty cool. I like the blue of that. Obviously slightly more for titanium. That's pretty cool as well for the watch, which we won't speak of just yet. And then we have the Moonwalker, which is obviously the same style as the Cybertruck or the Cyber watch one above. This actually has a solar panel, so that's pretty cool. Then we have a gold version. That looks quite nice as well, I'd say. I wouldn't mind having one of those. And I do like these armoured ones as well. It's kind of interesting. It does also, again, Cybertruck, it almost looks like the back of the boot of that one. So Bentley did also mention, and I think this is ambitious, is he's going to make release new watches, new designs, every few months. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that. It's a lot of work doing something like that. But, let's watch this space and see what happens. Now, did any of you get what these watches are? I will tell you. In fact, I will show you. So we're going to go to eBay and have a look at this. These are Nike D-Line from the early noughties. Look at these prices. It's absolutely insane. There's one here. Where is it now? There's one in really nice condition. Look at that, £941. Anyway, so we'll just go back very quickly to this page, and we have those, which £96, and they're really cool. I do like that design. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Until the next time.